Yeah, obviously at a tough point right now where losing sucks, and especially when you have such a great opportunity that we did, and everyone being healthy. It's really disappointing. But all in all, the season as a whole was a great one. From a team standpoint, won a lot of games. I think we got better. I think things we wanted to get better at, we did. We won a lot of tough and close games. We grew off the court as well. I think we matured in a lot of ways, and it was just a really special group. Anytime you could get the amount of wins we got this year, it's a great season, and it's fun to be a part of, and everybody gets along because you're winning, and then able to beat a really good Phoenix team in the playoffs, able to beat a really good Denver team, and came up short against a really good Dallas team. So, it's disheartening, but sometimes that's just how the chips fall.
You guys did seem to have a lot of momentum after Denver going into this series. What do you think prevented you from getting over that hump the most in Dallas against Dallas?
Looking back, maybe we kind of hit a wall. It just felt like we didn't have the same juice that we had in the Denver and Phoenix series, and sometimes you don't even realize it. But like my dad brought it up to me this morning, it looks like you guys just hit a wall, and you try to stay away from that. You try to think I got energy, I'm ready to go, but we just didn't have that same pop on both sides of the ball as a unit too. In the Dallas series, as we did in Denver, as we did all season, and as we did in Phoenix. So, tough.
Kyle, how do you reflect on your individual year?
Shitty. I wasn't happy with the way I played this year. I think the key to having, a good season is, having that time in the off season to put the work in. And, unfortunately, the injury in Game 4 I had last year just didn't allow me to do so. And that carried over to me not playing well individually. I just didn't have that body of summer work behind me like I did in the past year. I was able to work out, after we lost to Golden State when I was in Memphis. I was able to work out that whole summer and work on my shot, work on my handle, work on my game. And it showed. Last season, I didn't get back on the court till like July and had to head to World Cup and with Team China in August. So I just didn't have that body of work where I'm getting the reps in and putting the work in and, getting that sweat equity with my game. So, I don't think I played well this season, but that's not who I am. I'm happy I made it to this all season healthy, and I'm going to have a hell of an all season. I'm in the gym all summer. I'm going to get back to the player I know I am.
How much of how you felt you performed this season was maybe just trying to adjust to play the 3 full time? Last year, because of Carl's injury, you were at the 4 for so long. Did that have something to do with it?
Yeah, I got a lot thrown at me, like playing the 3 too. That was a little that kind of threw me off too, because it was an adjustment. But I think I got better with that as the season went on. And it's something that I want to continue to get better at, wherever I end up next year, in case I got to play the 3, I got to be ready for it. But obviously, I think my natural position in this league is a 4, and I've always excelled at that spot. But, just a lot thrown at me. But I think I'm fully capable of playing the 3 position. I'm going to work on the things you need to be a 3 in this league this summer.
I was going to say, does that affect how you approach this offseason for you in terms of whatever opportunities might be out there, and what are your conversations? Have you had any about coming back?
Yeah, for sure. I haven't had conversations with, what team I'll be with next season. I kind of want to give all my focus and energy towards the season right now and towards the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, but definitely going to affect the way I work on my game this summer. Like, I got to be able to knock down open shots. I got to be able to handle the ball, whether I'm at the 3, the 4. I played the 1 sometimes this season. I played the 5, whatever it is. I got to be able to make open shots. I got to be able to defend at a high level. I got to be able to, facilitate and handle the ball. So definitely those are the things I'm going home to work on.
You're a unique player that needs to be kind of understood in a certain way. The fact that Finchie gets you so well, does that make a big difference, and will that make a big difference going forward, having somebody who knows how to use you?
For sure. I think a lot of coaches I've came across in my career, sometimes kind of don't know how to use me or don't know what to do with me. Finchie for as long as I've been here, Finchie put me in positions to be successful. He's trusted me with decision making, trusted me to play my game, allowed me to have the ball in my hands. That meant a lot to me because I came across a lot of coaches who haven't let me do that. And, it kind of gets weird at that point. But Finchie and Tim have given me the utmost confidence and put me in, the most position to succeed my 2 years here. So I'm very thankful for those guys. It's been really fun having the ball in my hands in the NBA. Like my old AAU coach called me yesterday and was like, this is like 20 years ago watching you with the ball in your hands. It's very special. So credit to Finchie and Tim. They've always put me in positions to succeed and allowed me to make decisions. That's just my game. That's what I do.
We see with you and Mike kind of the ability to see the game, maybe even a step ahead sometimes on offense and see what's unfolding and what needs to happen. Is that something you think have always just had as players, or is that something other guys can develop as well? Like how does that come about? Just that knowledge, that IQ, and just seeing the floor.
Yeah, I think you kind of just born. You're just born with it, or you just come up in the game with it. Mike's a really high IQ player. He's a point guard. My dad raised me to be a point guard, so I've always watched high IQ players. I grew up watching Jason Kidd, playing for the New Jersey Nets, Rajon Rondo, just high IQ guys that can affect the game in many different ways, not just scoring. So I think Mike is from that pedigree too. He can also score the ball as well. I think it's just a point guard thing.
Finch emphasized defense this year. The team took a major leap defensively. How does this team take a major leap offensively in the next year?
I think that's just a lot of summer work to be put in on and off the court. Watching film. I think we see now, like regular season, you have to put the work in to get good offense, and sometimes you could just go out there and outscore opponents because teams in the NBA aren't that good. But in the playoffs, you're going to have to work hard to get shots, whether that's moving without the ball, making that extra pass, paying attention to how the defense guards you and being in the right spot. So I think all these little things that, we suffered from in the playoffs, or Minnesota suffered from in the playoffs, like, Finchie's a genius offensively. So I think you don't expect to see him, his offenses in the middle or lower part of the ranks anymore. Like he'll get it together. Trust me.
Kyle, kind of along those lines, like a flashbulb moment of the series is Game 4, and you're dictating out there, pointing guys where to go, and kind of structuring the offense. What's the key to having that more be a part of the offense and not maybe needing to be led around by you? Like what has to happen to make it so there's more maybe actions happening and it's not just kind of bogs down into ant or cat driving to the basket hard?
Yeah, I think that happens with a lot of teams where you see, your 2 or 3 guys just can't get it done. It has to be a collective effort. So I think that's just going to be work in the off season, that the team has to, put in, whether watching film in training camp and starting from next year, starting with certain principles on how you can get easier shots, or to my point and your point, it's like it doesn't just come together like that. They're gonna have to look over things and figure it out by just watching film and going out and emphasizing it in training camp and executing it next season.
Kyle, Ant said last night that you called it in the preseason that you could see facing Dallas in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
So what was that true? And then what made you see that back then?
I don't want to have a Bron moment like where I predicted it, but I know they would get far. I know when you have 2 closers in the NBA like Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, you're gonna go really far if those guys are healthy. I didn't see a team beating even them as a 5th seed. I'm like they're gonna meet us in the Western Conference Finals for sure, because you got guys that can make tough shots at the end of the game. You got a good chance of winning games, and that series explains it all. This series explains it. Like I think we were up we had a lead under 5 minutes to go in the first 3 games, and they were able to close it out because they have really good shot makers. So I just knew the makeup of their team, and then when they made the moves they made at the All-Star break, it's like, okay, this team's for real now. Like, they're ready to go. So Jason Kidd's obviously a very smart basketball mind. Like, he knows what it takes to win a championship as a coach and a player. So like I knew they would go far.
Did you get to know Bill Walton much when you were at UCLA?
I did. He would commentate our games, and he would be around the program. Very special man. I watched the I don't know if it was the 79 or 75 finals, Portland and Philly, and I didn't realize how good he was. Like, I didn't get to watch him play. So, I just being around him, being a UCLA Bruin was very special. And, his family's really nice. Luke's an awesome guy, and condolences go out to them. Bill Walton was very special.
Kyle, just logically speaking, based on the cap constraints here, right over here, Kyle.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Just based on the cap constraints here, is it logical to think that you're going to sign elsewhere in July?
I don't even know. Wherever I go, I'll still be in the NBA. I obviously want to be back here. My family's here. My son is on the spectrum. He's doing really well here in the Minnesota school system, and his development is really key. And he's doing so well, so that plays a part into it. But I don't know where I'll be. I don't even like to think about that stuff. Like, when the time comes, we make that decision. We cross that bridge when we get there. But obviously, I want to be back here.
Hey, Kyle, the way that Rudy is talked about, examined, across the league and his game and how good or bad he is, like, you are in the foxhole with him every single day for 2 years now. Like, how would you explain the impact that he has on a game, what you have seen from him as a teammate, what you've gotten to know about him over these 2 years playing together?
Man, Rudy sucks. No, I'm just playing. Man, he's so off. I know. I don't care. That's not how I feel about him at all. He's helped us tremendously. It's always impressive to me when guys can get better in year 11, year 12. Like, he had such a great season. It's just a testament to the work he puts in, and his care factor is so high. He was big time for our team all year, off the court as well. He was hosting them team dinners like last year when we got here, and no one would go with him. But this year you got guys, showing up with him, and I got to, become closer with him off the court this year. Such a great friend to have. Our relationship is super strong. I love being out there on the court with him. He's a guy you can trust. He shows up and works every day. You can always catch Rudy in the weight room. He's a really good player. I don't listen to that outside noise about people I know personally. Like, if I'm around you every day and I respect how you carry yourself as a man and as a father, as a player, then, I rock with you. I rock with Rudy 100%.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you, guys.